Hello and welcome to Patch Notes 2.9 Beta 1 Awesomenauts. So I just have a replay going on in the background. I did some streaming earlier today, get some people rounded up, and we give a try the new things going on. There's some changes for Voltar. Voltar seems to be the only character, the only support Awesomenaut with changes to him. There doesn't seem to be anything for Genji and Yuri as a Beta 1, so if you're curious about the support stuff, there's only for Voltar. And just for the hell of it, I'm just going to go through the patch notes for everything and kind of get my thoughts on them based on what I've experienced so far. I'll let this replay in the background go on. It kind of gives accurate-ish demonstration. Bots can only do so much, and people adjusting to the new character as well. So the new character, named Nibs, she's characterized as an assassin, a nuker, and damage dealer. Her basic attack, her auto attack, she does in melee. And she has a bar, kind of like Penny does. You kind of see that. And each attack she lands, her attack speed will start to go faster. Like so, that's her flame breath there. And she has 4 charges, and each one will increase by however much percentage. So when it's full, that's her max attack speed. And if she doesn't hit anything for a little while, no enemies, then it will wear off. Then she has to hit people again to maintain max attack speed. So she has a fire breath. She stays where she is. She can't get knocked back by anything. She can't get knocked back by Coco's ball or anything like that. She can deal quite a bit of damage. Does less damage to droids, so it does more damage to enemy Awesomenauts. So it's more encouraged to use it on Awesomenauts more than droids. You can do more damage that way. And Orb of Omicron. She throws this orb, and it doesn't do any damage to throw it at people, but she can teleport to where the orb goes, kind of like you see in it. When she exits the orb, she does damage that way. So kind of a mix of Penny and Scoop, I want to say. Like Penny can hold the charges and Scoop throwing the orb, but orb does do damage, so kind of like Sentry. Kind of a mix of some ideas, kind of thing. So I'll just go through the general stuff. Yeah, I'll try to focus on Nibs, but where it's support-oriented channel. Lots of people doing patch notes, I'm sure. So some bug fixes. Solar Crabbergs and Medicam will stay in their spot. They used to switch up quite a bit. Muting player in-game now mutes attack, defend, help commands, so that really helps with spam, especially. Let's see, character names and stat screen are sort of alphabetically. That's cool. Cursor stuff. Leaderboard stuff. Yeah, for the most part, it just looks like it's mostly just general bug fixes. Like anything we're really talking about. AI mining fixed up a little bit. How many droids have less health now? 400 instead of 550. That includes Genji and Raylan's droids. ALS changes. Chain Whack now has 10% lifesteal on base. Hungry Zurian lifesteal reduced from 30% to 20%. So it'll be either 30 or 50, I believe, with 2. No, it's just a 1 upgrade, isn't it? So 20, yeah. Rage now deals 3% of total max health as damage per second to self instead of a flat amount of 64 damage per second to self. So whatever your max health is, the Rage will do 3% of that. So I think the more health you have, the more damage it does. So kind of punishes the late game. So you really have to make use of that. Rage now deals a flat amount of lifesteal instead of a percentage based on the damage. 20 lifesteal instead of 33.30%. Anger Drawing self-damage now scales with base lifesteal range. Fiery Jawbreaker self-damage now scales with base lifesteal of Rage. So it looks like the Rage is kind of getting some nerfs there. I think my support build of Ayla just using the rubber band ball and just using lifesteal to sustain. I think that'd be more ideal for 2.9 by the looks of it. Coco, 1300 to 1250 health. Blaze, reduced from 20% to 10% on default. However, Siphon Disruptor slow power increased from 20 to 25%. And Disruptor slow power increased from 7 to 8.7 per stage. So her slow is lower on default, but her slow upgrades are a little bit more better. So nothing seems to be changed to the lightning ball. To those who were wondering, it just seems that slow itself, and less health, so she's a bit more squishier. Just 50 less health, that's really it. Durable. Hollow points bullet price reduced from 220 to 195 per stage. Deployment pads price reduced from 135 to 120. Solid fist rockets price reduced from 225 to 200. Force field price reduced from 100 to 90 per stage. Brim force field price reduced from 290 to 260. Sweet syrup bullets price reduced from 195 to 175. Siege mode Gatling fire range increased by 10%. Nuke will no longer home in on target, so I think it's a straightaway. But we'll try to show that with durable here anyway. Froggy G, Tornado now deals half damage per tick, 75 damage, but ticks twice as fast. So it kind of gives more windows of attack that way, I believe. Nah, Weedlings will now live for a limited time, 30 seconds. You might have been able to notice it. The Weedlings will have a purple bar above them. That's their timer, that's how much longer they have left to live. After 30 seconds, they just die. There's nothing to save them. It's not like they have damage over time, there's the purple bar, similar to Sentry. You can't see it in replay, but there's actually a purple bar above it. You can't see this in the replay file. Replay's getting bugged a little more and more per patch, I notice. Because as the match goes on, you'll hear Clunk's jets go off. And just some things here and there. Little minor bugs. Nothing game breaking. But just little ifs. So what else? Fertilizer now lets weedlings grow bigger after 10 seconds instead of 15. So instead of have their lifespans 10 seconds. Remove body collision on weedlings. So I think droids will go through weedlings now. But you can have quite a nest of them. Leon, clones will now automatically walk. Basic AI chip replaced with Runny Cheese, which increases movement and stealth when a wounded enemy, below 50% health, is near. Plus 3 movement. So if you go in Viz, and you're trying to hunt down somebody, you can catch up to them a lot faster, so there's that. Clover of Honor, I think that's the critical, something like that, like you do extra damage on every second or third strike. Now works on turrets. So there's that. Hungry Sword now lifesteals a flat amount of 25, 2.5 in the old stats, per hit, and clones will lifesteal 12.5 per hit. So if you make your clones attack and if they hit something, you will get the lifesteal off that. So it really helped with Leon's lifesteal. I don't know if these are nerfs. They don't sound like nerfs to me. However, Spike Ton, piercing damage reduced by 10%. Morningstar, piercing damage reduced by 10%. So Leon doing what he does, he's not getting much of a nerf, it seems. I'm not bothered by it. Like, you have to get debuffs seem to work best on assassins, it seems, but we'll see how it works out once everything goes through. I don't think the beta's gonna be done for 3 or 4 weeks because some of the staff is on vacation, I believe, on holiday. So this beta's gonna be a little bit longer than usual. So I'm not sure if I'll do more videos than usual on Awesomenauts because I gotta have a copy of this, the 2.9 beta, and a copy of 2.8. I don't know if I'll make 2.8 videos. I'm a little iffy doing that during the beta, but where it's going to be out for up to a month, we'll see with that. Penny. Energy Pulse's amplified damage effect won't increase anymore with more charges, but is now a flat amount, which is 10%. Chicken and Lunchbox amplified damage increase won't increase anymore with more charges, but is now a flat amount, 5% per stage. Raylan, time rifts no longer affect other time rifts. Okay, in case you didn't know, if you were a Raylan going against another Raylan, if you threw your time rifts at each other, you could eventually stack them up where they were getting slowed down. Just throw time rifts after time rift after time rift, same spot. I think it was Volya. She's got a video. I'll put that in the link. You can make they made some pretty good clip art, or made some pretty good art with that. Like, just throw graphic at it, just throw particles at it. And since the slowdown went to like less than 1%, it actually looks pretty cool. But I'm surprised they actually patched that. So if all the things they patched that one. Alright, there's that. Scoop, Hammer of Frost, collision size reduced by 10%. So a lot of people were talking about how the collision seemed a little too big, so reduced by 10%. So we'll see if that makes much of a difference. Sentry, Black Hole Sun stored damage will now decay after 4 seconds. However, base and flat damage will not be affected. So any damage you saved up, you have to use it within 4 seconds, or that bar that Sentry has will start to deplete. So you have to use it within 4 seconds, or all that damage you took will be for nothing. It will go down to whatever your base, or if you got the items, to give you more flat damage. So it kind of prevents Sentry from storing up too much damage. But just buy into base damage, flat damage kind of thing. Temp Pain. Grenade Pour Harm now removes tab body collision while Stimback is active. This is hit or miss. A lot of people aren't really fond of this because they want it to have that stun. It was kind of like a get out of jail free card. That's what people were talking about. They're saying like it worked really well against the Froggy G. It would cancel his Tornado or Raylan Snipe kind of thing. Collision is very situational, I think. From what I've experienced, going through a totem, or if you're in the Gwillon, if you get sandwiched in, just pop that and you'll be able to go through things. So you can't get boxed in anymore. I just wonder how often that item will be used, is all I'm thinking. Okay, Voltar changes. Happy Thoughts now increases the max healing of Healing Wave, 25% stage. So, Happy Thoughts, as it's planned in 2.9, it's not going to affect the heal itself, only the maximum heal. So, yeah, the Ranma's really pushing for charge-based heals. So, that's one thing. Euphoric Thoughts now increases the Healing Wave. They got this worded weird. Euphoric Thoughts now increases the healing of Healing Wave when fully charged. 70 extra healing. So those health heal increases only work when the heal wave is fully charged. It doesn't work when at a minimum. At the minimum, it's either 25 on Awesomenauts or 5 for droids. So you still get that Solar no matter what the charge is. So I wouldn't recommend spamming the heal wave on droids unless there's no danger at all, because 5 is nothing, 0.5 null stats. You could spam it on your allies. Solar Crabberg are starting to be less and less viable, it seems. Like letting it charge up 220 or 240 seems to work, but man, it seems to take a long time to charge up. It's almost... I'd almost rather just spam it again, but I don't have anything I can use to do that, either increase healing on the heal bot, but the heal bot seems to be more effective than the heal wave itself. It's just for getting extra money, that's the only thing. So a note from the developers, they say, these are just some last changes to try to keep this current healing wave, but we are working on an overhaul of Voltar's other skills. We feel we tried everything to keep him as close as possible to his original self, but time has come and he needs some major changes to avoid him becoming too strong in coordinate pre-mates and not useless in solo battles. I can kind of see where they're coming from. Because the big problem was people were saying that Voltar in Sentry was a really bad problem. But he's... in pre-mates, it still works just fine. The advantage is not entirely the characters, it's that the people can talk to each other. That's it. That's how they coordinate, that's how they work together, that's how they win. Because all these nerfs to Voltar, people were complaining about Sentry. Like, I know Voltar and Sentry work together very well, but it didn't really work. It just makes Voltar more useless, I feel. Like, even you have to have, like, for Voltar to work well. Does he work well in solo? Kind of, but you kind of have to stay with people if you want to spam heal wave, if you want to make money faster. But you're also encouraged to push lanes too. Like, it's... I'm not quite sure because it sounds like they got more changes planned for him. So it's kind of a hit or miss, but commentating on the match, it was working out very well for us. Our kind of fighter, he doesn't play all that often. He works more on commissions, that kind of thing. So he doesn't play the game a whole lot, and I'm just trying to adjust to Voltar because I haven't really been doing that well in the game lately. But trying to focus on new character. I like her so far. Some people say she's underwhelming because when she does that flame breath, she's stuck there. You can't get a shield for her, like 9% shield, something like that. But where she's an assassin, she's not really on my focus right now. I'll see if I can make a support build on her. I might do a video of that sometime if the beta's still going on. But not a whole lot going on really. Like, even though our Clunkbot's doing amazing, and the Vinibot's not doing so amazing. Vinibot's always had the hardest luck, I felt. Because even then, sometimes he does well, but sometimes people just seem to know how to work against him. Kind of like so. So, yeah, I thought I'd just try to build into keeping Durple alive as much as possible. It's kind of difficult to do so, even with not damage over time. I'm just trying to figure out, like, either using the minimum heal wave, which doesn't seem to be useful at all much of the time. Like, outside of a battle, just use it to farm Solar. But during a fight, it seems like letting it charge up is way too risky, like it takes way too long to do. That's the kind of thing, like it feels okay to let it just spam it when you're in that fight, with Awesomenauts anyway. With droids, you have to let it charge up. I don't really see the sense of getting Dreams of Greed, because I kind of see myself getting Happy Thoughts, Euphoric Thoughts, just to increase my healing. But they only work on the max heal wave, that's the thing. So knockback could be a thing. Be pretty good for losing, but I probably should have went with that, but just trying to figure out how to push everybody back, because once those droids get pretty powerful, it takes a long time to wipe them out if you haven't built into it. That's kind of the issue about it. So yeah, I tested out Genji and Yuri and I couldn't find anything, but I didn't really look too deep either. Voltar, not too much of a difference, because all that changed was Happy Thoughts and Euphoric Thoughts, because Happy Thoughts doesn't work on the minimum anymore. From what I've experienced, ALS seems more useful for my kind of playstyle, using it to just use auto attack, but the range is really low. That's the problem. I just like using it to get droids up to the turrets faster and spam that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't have much else to really say. I have been doing live streams. I've been doing that for a few days now. I've been really enjoying it. It's kind of nice just to chat with people. Just times where I usually just play a game, I'll just turn on live streaming. I got Twitter if you want to follow me there. I have that in the description. I usually give a 15-minute heads up when I'm going to stream. I usually play this game along with the other games I cover as well, but whatever people would prefer to do. It's been going well quite so far. It's been off to a good start. Curious to see where Nibs goes from here. Like, she seems like she's a fun character. I like her quite a bit. I'm curious to see who's going to be voicing her. I kind of got a feeling it's going to be Ashley Birch again, but that would make absolutely no sense. And you kind of see from there, like, letting the heal wave charge is almost, it just seems too risky to me. Maybe I'll try just letting it, just spamming heal wave in a tight spot. Not with droids, but maybe with allied Awesomenauts. And the Clunk Bot was doing incredibly well. I was really surprised by that. 16-1 at this point in the recording, kind of crazy. But even though we were doing that great for kills, they were still able to do so well. Like, you kind of have to build into, if no one's able to really push back the droids, then that's where you really suffer. But you can see, like, there's no collision with weaklings, so you can just go through them if you want. So that's kind of interesting, because a lot of Nas would use weaklings to block droids from getting to the turrets, but that's not the case anymore. They can just walk right through them. So if that goes through into the release candidate, then that would be something to prepare for. Because they're pretty good for just blocking droids, but it doesn't work like that anymore. And I gotta get Voltar figured out, maybe just buying some different items, because I went pretty much full on healing and did that. Or maybe just doing more damage for the drones. Might have been better. So yeah, I'm not sure when the next beta version, because there's just a lot of bugs I found have been reported. I'm just double checking through the forums to make sure they've all been reported. It's mostly just been tech stuff, and some bugs with a new character as well. You can kind of do some things you're not supposed to, like move around like using flamethrower. It sounds like a complicated thing. Like, if you time the orb and the flamethrower just right, you can move around and do that. So that's a bug, I think. Other than that, I don't have, nothing else really goes to mind. So yeah, I'll just keep myself right here. If I got anything to commentate on, I'll do that. There's about, yeah, we'll keep on going to the match ends anyway. Yeah, it is possible to do a lot of damage with the flamethrower. The thing is, you have to be careful not taking too much damage while you do that. You can build into a lot of damage, you just have to get the right spot. Because you can get a stun for if you have no stacks, and if you land a hit, then that person will be stunned for 0.7 seconds, I think. There's a slow if you hit the orb. If you hit someone with the orb, then they'll be slowed down. And there's another one, if you launch the orb but you don't teleport, you can just reuse it again. So that's been useful for spamming slow, just crowd control pretty much. So there is a lot of capability for support, so I'll have to try that. Try to get a recording of that sometime. It's just where you can play with people in custom matches, but that's it, like none of that leaderboard stuff. So I'll see if I can get that going. Support doesn't always work well for bots anyway. That's just the only thing. And now I'm just trying to escape here. This is the custom match here. That's how I'm able to play with human players. That's how we were able to get this going. This was during a stream, so my focus wasn't all there. We were all, like, these were people on the other team were people watching the stream, and the double on my team was, he's a friend in real life, so I know him personally. And he saw me streaming, so I invited him in. He mostly does commission work. He does pretty good. Like, I thought about getting him to do some stuff, like maybe doing the title screen, but him and I went to art school together, so maybe I shouldn't be so lazy. just from going to college, and I went to college for drawing. I kind of got burnt out by that. I just been more interested in. I kind of like doing technical stuff, but I like doing creative stuff at the same time. Just doing this whole thing that I'm doing right now, whatever it is, seems to be a nice balance. What it is, but Higher Cannon Fodder seems to be. He's doing pretty good, doing commissions and stuff. Now, we're getting at this point in the match where we're trying to push the lanes, and just the mini-bot being a real pain. Those droids do an insane amount of damage. And then add on to that flamethrower breath. Kind of crazy. So even though it's 32-9, the enemy is at our core. Like, that kind of says something. Like, you could blame Thurple, but, not really a big deal. Just playing for funsies. What do I care? But then again, I think getting knockback would have been the better thing to get rather than just damage. Because just pushing him back, then using shot damage on drones, I think would have been better. And having that clunk, he was able to clean up very, very well. And even despite the minibot dying a bunch of times, the other team was able to push ahead, no problem. Like, now it does very well for keeping droids back. This one seems to be, this character, they can use their orb to teleport in, deal a bunch of damage with flamethrower, or start doing a lot of damage in a short amount of time. There's some versatility to Nibs. So, yeah, I'm curious to see who's going to voice this character. I'm kind of thinking like a girly voice, but I really don't know. I'm not entirely sure. At this point, I think it was... Yeah, just trying to make that push, but when we push the bottom, then they try to push over the top, so it's kind of tricky to make progress that way. Even with all the... even with all that. And just like that. At the very end, then Vinny starts getting kills. That clone doing 1,000 damage kind of really adds up. Yeah, in the beta, Nibs doesn't have her music yet, or her voice lines either, so when they do a taunt, it doesn't do anything, just nothing there. They usually don't put it in the betas, usually not until after it's done anyway. Exactly, empty threats. Damage on heal wave can work. You just have to be close range and then mix it in with your drones to make it work. I didn't really find it to be that great like I should have. I'm just thinking from hindsight. Maybe just more damage next time, because burst damage is fine and everything, but having two tanks, sometimes you don't really have the opportunity. They deal plenty of damage already. So that's food for thought for myself in the future. Yeah, it kind of looks like that's much of it. Yeah, getting to the point now where we're starting to make progress finally. They're trying to push near top, and I thought we try to take care of the core before they take it out. With all the amount of droids we had, I was hoping that we'd be able to take out the core in no time, but now I was able to fight it back really, really well. I was quite surprised by that. It wasn't us who took it out, because I'll go back to that in just a moment. Because what happened on the other side of the map was that a whole bunch of other droids piled up, and that flame breath, and then having that piercing attack, able to do all that damage in no time. Like, I was hoping that I'd be able to do this, but Nibs was able to do that first. So it actually turned out to be quite an interesting match. Like, not the best Nibs gameplay or best Voltar gameplay, but kind of gives you an idea of what changes are planned. So I'll probably do some more Awesomenauts gameplay in a little while. But I'll probably be doing more live streams as well. So if you're interested in that, by all means. I just got 360 ping, or 360p. Ping is pretty good, like 1/200. Just because my internet's like 0.5 up, that's how bad it is. But I managed to configure that it worked for live streaming anyway. So, yeah. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.